Buenas tardes. Good afternoon in Spanish. It's my, my language. And I am very happy to be here today, sharing with you part of the experience I have had in my work of field, or my field of work. Sorry, if I make a mistake, I don't generally speak to big audiences in English. So if I make a mistake, you are free to correct me, okay? It's okay? I also will try to crack some jokes so you don't fall asleep. But I hope you understand the Colombian jokes in English. Basically, today we are going to talk about a subject that I think sometimes we forget to look at. And with the experience I have had as a director of the India-Colombia Chamber of Commerce, and also as a co-founder member of the Friends of India Association, I have realized the importance of design. Of course, you have had here wonderful speakers with a vast experience in different fields of work: architecture, logo design, campaigns, fashion design, and all. But at the root, design is almost the same, like the same principles apply for everyone. So I'm going to talk about something related to management of design, which is very important. But we will try to go a little farther of that. Of course, management of design has been there for many years, but like I said, we tend to forget, I feel that sometimes we go too much deep into the work we are doing. Maybe you have something from your teacher, or you are already working, and you go too much deep inside of your project that we tend to forget to look from the outside, not to look from above, which is very important. So in nature, there are simple basic rules. In nature, the weak is defeated by the strong, or the slow one is defeated by the fastest. And that's the way nature works. Yeah? Sometimes we think that we are a menace to our planet Earth. But when the Earth moves, do you really think you are a menace to the planet Earth? Because then you feel so small that with one shaking, you can be wiped out. So that's the rule of nature. We, as human beings, have something that animals, as of now, don't have, and is imagination. And quoting Mr. Einstein, I believe that it's important to understand that difference nowadays. And that gives us a very big responsibility in the things that we are doing. Why? Because we are the administrators, we are the managers of all the things that happen around us. So, with that in mind, with that concept, then appears something that is related to all of us, which is culture. Culture defines who we are, how we eat, how we sit, how we shake the head. No? Here I have a colleague, Lisa. She's the first one who received me in 2005 when I came to teach in Mumbai. I was 24 years old at that time. And I remember when I asked the students, do you understand what I just explained? And the moment they shake the head, no, I was going to repeat the whole class, because for me it was like a no. No? So in the western side of, like western, I'm talking about Europe, North America, Canada, Colombia, my country, we are very specific on say yes and say no. In India, then you find this, and for most of the people, it's difficult to understand it. So sometimes means yes, sometimes means no, sometimes means maybe. But that also is in the word of namaste. No, namaste is used for good morning, good afternoon, welcome. There is, it's probably not defined word, it's not defined. So those cultural differences play a key role, especially when you are talking about business. Now we need to understand that culture is born from us, from human beings. It's something that belongs to us. We rule, we set what is good, what is not good, what is evil, what is not evil. If you use, for example, black color in China for a design, most of the time it's not acceptable. If you use, for example, I remember very well when one of the students came to the institution here in India, and she came dressed in a white kurta. And me, being a Latino, we try to be, I don't know if you have been to Latin America before. Anyone? Have you ever met someone, hello, from Latin America? Yes? And how are we? We are very warm. And if someone looks good, we will tell you look good, without barriers. So I told this student, I said, ah, you look very nice. It's a nice outfit. And she looked at me like, now I don't know what to tell this foreigner, or how is it in Hindi, Gora? And she looked at me like, no. I said, no, what? No, a relative of mine passed away. No, because here, when in some parts, or I suppose most of India, when someone passed away, they wear white clothes. In Colombia, when someone passed away, we wear dark clothes, especially black. So now when I go to these occasions, I try not to wear black, I try to wear other kind of color. So I break the thing a little. Just because I have learned, sometimes we kind of like to be rebel, no? So I go, not in a festive colors, of course, because it's a sad occasion, but I try not to use the dark because dark is so depressing. So then we have culture who creates barriers. The culture that you have, believe it or not, even if you are open-minded, it creates barriers. So imagine this when you are doing business, when someone from Latin America and someone from Colombia. There are preconceptions. So people will think about the Indians in one way, and the Indians will think about the Colombians in another way. No? They think because maybe a Colombian lady will wear a little more open stuff, then she will be like, okay, she could be a very good friend of mine, I can get close to her and things like that. And on the other side, they will think, oh no, in India most of the Indians are vegetarians and all they are Hindu and all. And sometimes people make these mistakes. So the culture, it is something that affects businesses. It is something that affects what we believe. So this is a concept that you might have seen already. I know the author of this concept, and it's something that I really like because it is showing what the culture means to us. And believe me, being a director of the Colombia-India Chamber of Commerce is not an easy task. Indians, from one side, they are good in bargaining, they are good in selling, they want to sell big quantities, they pressure sometimes, but when it's Diwali time, no one appears. Right? So then the Colombians come and say, I have sent emails and no one is replying, what is happening? Is not interested in the business, what's going on? Then for some reason I check the calendar and I say, oh, no, it's Diwali. And then the Colombian will say, what is Diwali? Is it something bad? No, Diwali is the festival of lights and so on, so they will take some time to reply to you. And then they will say, okay, But if an Indian writes to a Colombian after 8th or 15th of December, then it's Christmas for us. And then the Indian part will get desperate. And they will say, why no one is answering me? It's because it's Christmas. So everyone is on holidays and so on. So talking about my country, Colombia, and I hope with this it changed a little this evil seed that has come through Netflix to you, that you have probably seen. And maybe because I have seen this, you will go and watch the series. But maybe some of you have watched Narcos. And you might think, this guy has come with a hat, for sure he has a gun, or something like that. No? Because it happens. Yes, when I visited Europe the first time, the people were asking me, give me some drugs. And I was like, I don't have. No, I wanted to punch the guy, but since it's not my home, I cannot do that. I will go to jail. No? He will tell the police things in Italian that I cannot, I won't be able to defend myself. So Colombia is a country located in the northern part of Latin America. America is a full continent. Please understand that. Mr. Trump says America is his country. America goes from Alaska to Argentina. It takes 8 hours to go from Sao Paulo, which is a neighboring country to Colombia, to Bogota. It's huge. It takes 6 hours to go from Bogota to New York. And it takes another 8 hours to go from Bogota to California. So it's a full continent. So now imagine this, a country like Colombia, full of colors, full of vibrant people. Our culture, maybe you can trace it some centuries ago, but unfortunately, some conquerors came and they cut the culture in pieces, so much that they changed our language. In India, you have 24 languages, no? In dialects, you have plenty of dialects. The people who speak Hindi in Mumbai will be different from the Hindi that is speaking maybe here or in another part. They will change the word and the sentences and so on. For us, they change the language, so we speak Spanish. All the same, still we have 60 languages more that they have been preserved by small tribals. So Colombia is known for his music, his locations, his wonderful nature. Bird watching is a must. Of this kind of bird, we have more than 350 species or different models, I will say, just to not get confused in it. So that is a little of the background of what Colombia is. Of course, I'm not going to talk about India because you are Indians. And I'm not pretending to bring wood to the forest. You understand that metaphor? There is already wood here. I'm not going to bring more. I will bring something that is different so you understand the context of my talk. So basically, when we talk about design, there are outcomes. There is a product. There is always something that comes out of design. It could be an activity, a service, a software, a product, a building, a device. It is always that is the result of design. But this time, and my invitation to you is to look from above. Why is it important to look from above? Well, I was going to talk about me, but your teacher has already said some things about me, so I'm not going to repeat that. That's okay? Sure? Are you okay? Are you here with me? Okay, I hope you don't fall asleep. But if you fall asleep, it means my voice is good enough to tickle your ear and you will fall. Otherwise, I will understand you are calling me. You do like this, I will come to you. Okay, so I would like to talk about this project. My background is the digital world. This project we made it in 2004. It was called A Little Bird Told Me. You know when you don't want to disclose who has told you a secret, you go and say, a little bird told me. So this project was about that. Now, of these elements that you see here, which is common nowadays that you see there, any of the elements that is there? How many of you have Twitter? A Twitter account? What is the logo of Twitter? What is Twitter's logo? A bird. What is the metaphor of design of Twitter? Small tweets. That means small and short stories. So believe it or not, me and my team and myself, we were able to have the same concept of Twitter and YouTube in 2004. Now, if this could have picked up and become something different, I'm not sure if maybe the name will have helped us, because a little bird told me sounds like gossiping. But probably if we could have developed this concept and maybe to have had the technology or at least the vision enough, I could have been very wealthy and rich. No? Because I don't know if you remember, and if you have checked history, YouTube was sold to Google for quite a big amount of money. And Twitter also has a similar value. So we did it. But maybe it's not to blame circumstances, but maybe we were in the wrong moment, in the wrong country. We didn't have a perspective, we didn't have what is required to envision that something that we did. Even when I was talking to people who could have been interested in this, they said, no, this project is, little bird told me, it's small. We don't want that, we don't want that. And in Colombia, nobody was able to understand the power of internet at that particular moment. That is why it's important to look from above. Now, after so many years, and after living in India, then we started this new project which is called Friends of India Association. Namaste, Friends of India Association. And it was a project that we proposed to the Embassy of India in Colombia. We said we need something that bridges the gap of information for the Colombians and somehow also for the Indians that are there. Now, the community of India in Colombia is very small. It's now about 500 people. So we were thinking more about the Colombians, how to promote Indian culture in Colombia. So I use this image because for many of the Colombians, till today, India is the land of snake charmers. No? In the movies, when I was coming to India, my image of India was Gandhi and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So I said, I don't know when I'm going to eat the brains of the monkeys and all. It was stupid. I didn't know. But that image is there. So that was the first challenge, how to promote culture in Colombia. But also how to have a critical mass of people. Because when you make culture, it's not easy to sustain in time. Resources are limited, people get bored. If you don't deliver events or products with quality, people will just disappear. So it was a new thing that we were starting in 2009, where social network just was picking up, starting to become very popular, to drive people's decision and all those things. Literally, our association was born on Facebook. And until today, Facebook has been our most important tool to spread the message of the association. We have been able to make events within 1 week, having thousands of people attending the events. And the problem is here that we have the lenses of other cultures. Cultures that they have a stronger soft power, that they're able to sell the idea that India is in a certain way. You understand me that part? It's like when someone tells you about a third person, it's telling you that person is bad. But only when you interact with the person, you will come to know if the person is good or bad. The same thing happens with culture, with soft power, which is a strong concept. So basically, we identify that India always has a layer of dust. And I hope you don't take it in the wrong way, but the thing is that layer of dust is there. People have misconceptions about India. So we have the challenge to remove this layer of dust. And if you know about books, this is a still from Aladdin and the Magic Lamp. You know, he discovers the genie only when he's able to remove the layer of dust. Maybe by accident or something, but he realizes how precious and how important is to remove the layer of dust. So here we have two cultures, how to merge them together, how to make them work together. It is a challenge. And we started with the small things. It's the same thing that happens to Alexander the Great when he was coming to the Persian Empire, to the areas of Pakistan, Afghanistan, and so on. He thought that the people there were just wild people. So there is always a misconception. There is always a judgment that we are doing. So we design. We found that design was the key factor if we wanted to communicate the right image of India. That is why design is so important. I believe most of the speakers have said these things today. You are designing for your society, for your community. We can drive change. So if we consider design an important factor, we can definitely change the way we look at things. So we couldn't design as Colombians. Why? Because if I stand here as a Colombian and I look at India, India is much bigger. If I design equal, judgment is there all the time. So we have to design from above. And that is a challenge nowadays because when you want to do something, you are always, many times, even in Colombia, people are thinking, we are going to design an app. No, we only do apps. No, in the digital world, we only do apps. Think about this. Uber is an app. But is it Uber an app? There is a bunch of engineers behind that all the time making the product better. So it's not only an app. Now they're shifting to food. And now they're shifting to air transportation. So is it only an app? Maybe the app was the starting point, but it's something bigger. So misconceptions are there, judgments are there, problems are there, and all. Only when you have a good design strategy, you can maybe not avoid them, but you can control them. No? We have faced many issues. We faced one day a problem when an Indian didn't want to negotiate with a lady because she was dark-skinned, she was a black lady. And he said, I don't want to deal with her. So we literally had to find someone that it was not of this color skin and find ways to bridge the conversation problem. Not judging, not saying, oh, this Indian person is so bad. Not saying to the other lady, no, he's judging you because of the color of your skin. We found solutions to bridge the gap, to bring understanding, and we were successful. So when we talk about this, we were literally designing an experience. Every event of Amigos de India is an experience of India in Colombia. It's not just an event. It is not just that you look and see it or clap. No, it's an experience. So we took into consideration strong visual designs. We took into consideration that we couldn't talk about any religion. Although India, big majority is Hindu, we couldn't talk only about Hinduism. We had to talk about the Christians and the Muslims and the Jews and whoever was there and take that such a big rainbow and fascinating culture to showcase the right image of India. We spoke about well-planned events, good feedback, good communication skills, service and problem-solving attitude, always ready to serve, and finding the right partners, which is very important, and obviously the marketing. Is it clear, the picture? So we have been able to celebrate Holi in Colombia. 8 versions of Holi. The first version, only 50 people came. We literally made the powders. Took some color and powder and make it, because there was no way to bring them from here. No, to import and this, and we were just starting and all. The recent versions of Holi is with big crowd, dancers, food. Even the government of Colombia attends our events. And VIP people from different companies and so on, they come to the events. We were able to make Bollywood shows, but in a professional way, no? When we understand this. And so many other activities, Hindi Day, calligraphy, workshops, bring talks, musicians, concerts, and so on. So much that people are saying, I must go to India. I would like to go, take me. No? It's not only yoga, it's not only the spiritual part, it's not only Ayurveda, it's the whole thing that we have taken. But because we were able to look from above. So these are some of the activities we have done, as I mentioned. And for us, if there is one word that defines India, it's fascinating. We cannot say it's exotic, we cannot say it's strange, it's fascinating. I wonder if you guys and girls, I wonder if you know what you have in your hands. The potential and the richness of your culture, the power that you have, the capacity that you have is immense. And people around the world are looking at India right now. We are here. So I wonder if any of you have realized that. But only you realize that when you don't look in the problem. You look from above the situation. So in all this, we identify a social experience that motivated design. Design has to be motivated. There should be a motivation, political motivation, marketing, technological, whatever is the motivation, find the motivation to design. Because only when you are inspired, you can design. Yeah? Only the famous people will do one, we say in Spanish, garabato, one scratch, and they will sell it for millions. Salvador Dali was famous for that. Give me a Dali, okay, $1 million. No, he will scratch something, $1 million, because it's mine. But to design is different. And an important value I want to highlight, trust. Mr. Knapp, he mentioned that. And one of the ladies of the auditorium asked him, what about trust? Trust is a very important value. And I believe many of the speakers that have come here, they have been able to build trust with whatever they are doing. People should trust in whatever you do. And the government of India is trusting whatever we do. And now the government of Colombia is also starting to trust, because they are not easy also. Okay, no, we just skip this. Skip. Now, all this experience, and this is disclosed today, after so many years, with all this experience, I was able to put the base for the Indian public diplomacy. You remember at one time in India some years ago, public diplomacy was like a rocket, magazines and events and so on. So this was the layout for the Indian public diplomacy. It was taken from a local, but I knew that I have to think systematically. One thing is to sketch and all those things. Another thing is to put a system in place, something that you know how your information is flowing. And I'm sure our speaker from Denmark, he knows about this. You can ask him and he will explain so many more things about how to have a system to do the things. You can rely on someone else's system, you can create your own. But thinking systematically is important to achieve what you want. Then with the chamber, we literally expand what we did with Amigos de India. So much that we are able now to have partners in India, in Colombia, but also in the rest of Latin America. And the model is starting to be replicated in other countries. I must say that the government of India gave their quota of trust, and we also made them rely on us. And this is what is going on right now. So more events, more business. It's not easy to match the people. The characters are difficult, the expectations are different, the materials, the language, and so on. So we have become that bridge that I told my wife when I just married her. We need to do something that our countries can come together. These are some of the achievements that we have had. Of course, we would like to have more, but it's not so easy because it requires customization and follow-up and so many things. But we have accounted for more than 1,000 Indian companies in Colombia and another few hundreds from Colombia coming to India. And it's a long way because it's not easy to make business, to open the market and so on. These are some of the local partners we have in Colombia. Maybe you don't know many of them, but Corferias, for example, is the biggest complex over there. We have the government of Colombia, we have chambers of commerce, World Trade Centers, and so on. And these are some of the partners we have here in India. Right now, we are working to bring 300 Indian businessmen to Colombia in the first 3 months of the year. So imagine the amount of work I will have when I go back. No? Because detail this, the lightning of the lamp and all those things. I understand many of the things that are done here, we have to replicate the same things over there. So, this way of working can be applied in anything you do. It has been a good experience. When I came to India, India changed my life. I didn't come here for spiritual help and all those things. I came here for work. But it changed the whole system. India looked at me from above and said, okay, we are going to change you. Track. Change me completely. So that has been a good experience so far. This is more or less the model we're trying to follow in the things. Because when we do events, we are not only doing an event, we are doing website design, graphic design. Now we are going to start with some apps for the registration and publicity and so many other things. So it is a process, it's a building process where design is the key factor. You want to be innovative, sometimes you only think about technology. Innovation is not only technology, it's a part of it. But design helps you to join together creativity and innovation and most of the other parts. So this is a building process. This is what I like from India, no? It's emerging. It's not stopping, it's emerging. So our philosophy in this is the same. We emerge. We try to be better every day. We try to achieve more things every day. But nothing of this can be done if you don't have values. You can be systematic, you can have the best programmers and all those things, but if you don't have values, nothing of this can be achieved. For example, keep a healthy and cordial relationship with your audience or community. When we talk to our network of friends of India, that is of thousands of people, we are not just sending them a message, this event is there. Sometimes with just one post saying, good morning, how are you? From where are you connecting with us? You won't imagine. Immediately people say, I'm connecting from Santiago de Chile, I'm connecting from Mexico, I'm connecting from India, from Spain, blah, 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 blah. There is an interaction. Sometimes even people have written to us saying, what you posted has helped me. No? Sometimes we post Tagore wordings, proverbs, the Tagore proverbs, and sometimes they are so inspiring that people say, hey, thank you so much for that quoting and so on. So we have built a relationship. Second, members of the team and teamwork are crucial. We have learned this in the hard way. Because when there is gossip, when problems are not treated well, or the communication is there, you will suffer and your projects will suffer a lot. We suffer a lot because societies are like marriages. Only thing is that sex is not included. I don't know. But no, in marriage you can have sex as much as you want. But in societies, they are like marriages. And if you don't know how to handle your society, your partner, how to tackle the problems and all, you will have a lot of issues that will delay your products or your services. Third thing we learn, we are digital diplomats. That means when you are working on a product or you have a service and so on, whatever you post online, you have to consider it. Either you manage a professional profile or a common profile, but at the end we are digital diplomats. We are not officially, we don't have a letter saying, Cristian, you represent the government of India or the Indian culture and so on. We don't have it. But I know that because of that connection is so strong, I have to behave in the right way. Sometimes I have to eat my words because I want to post like, no, this government of Colombia is, no. I know maybe you feel the same, this guy. And I have to go to the bathroom and shout. And then when it's released, I say, okay, what can I do? I cannot risk what I have built. Presentation skills, how to talk, how to communicate, how to say words, how to have confidence. Here, my nerves are inside, but maybe you don't notice. But I have learned to control them, like, don't come out. Don't come out. I put this hard so they don't come out. Also interpersonal relationships, PR, public relationships. You have to be a master to talk. One thing Colombians don't like, to be pressured. I always tell the Indians, if you pressure a Colombian, the Colombian is like soap with water. No, you take the soap, press it, and what happens? The Colombian will disappear. Then you, where is the soap? Where is the soap? Oh my God, no. I cannot have a shower without soap. Colombians are like that. Because sometimes the Indians, they tend to be intense, no? To buy my product, and all those things. On the contrary, Colombians, we are fast forward. We like things now. Send me the price now, and this now. And sometimes we don't check for quality. We don't check if the partner that we are making business with is good or not. No? So those skills are important. It applies for everything. Trust. In this world of nowadays, trust is a very important value. I wouldn't be here if the organizers don't trust me. Trust is so important. And if you break the trust, be humble and reconstruct the trust as much as you can. Be a good listener is important. Observation is a very important thing. It's very important. Sometimes my wife makes fun of me because I'm eating and I can see in the plate things that no one else could have seen. Small thing, maybe a small hair, something. Otherwise, probably I could have eaten them. No? One word is very powerful. One word can change the life. Innovation is not only about technology, we said about that. Think systematically, and very, very important, design should impact and improve your community. We are not animals. Of course, in the corporate world, sometimes it's like that, no? The big one comes and eats the small one. But as long as you are holding and managing your things, we are not animals. We are thinking in community. We are thinking how to make better lives and so on. Remember the first part? We are administrators of whatever is around us. So, this is how far we are. But we have been able to make the bridge. I have been maybe lucky, or I don't know how to call it, but I'm a key part of that process. And I'm happy to have done it. I don't regret, because I have seen that whatever I know, I can apply those things there and build more and do something that has a meaning. So, quoting Powell, he says, design will work as a bridge between the world and the economics and cultural aspects of the different countries, opening new doors, enabling the contribution to better societies around the world. And I think this is a message that has been here during the whole day. How to improve, how to make better someone else's life. And that is what I have been able to do through all this experience that I have shared with you, and I hope you have learned something new from this Colombian that loves India so much. Thank you so much.